Hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar and thank you for joining. My name is Lewis Mongi, a business analyst here at Odoo, and I'll be taking you through today's session. Just so you know, this is our second webinar on eTIMS. We did the first one about 6 months ago, where we covered in detail how the Odoo eTIMS integration is supposed to work. So most of the things that we'll be talking about today were discussed in that other webinar, and in case you need to learn more about that webinar, you can always go on YouTube and type eTIMS compliance with Odoo, and you'll find it. And it basically lays the foundation for what we are going to be covering today. So to our agenda for today, we have 5 points to discuss. The first one will be the integration token. So this is required during the onboarding process. I will also talk about the change of solution. So this is basically for clients who are using other solutions of eTIMS and would like now to move to Odoo. I will also discuss about the common errors and how they are being resolved. So these are the common errors that our clients are facing and basically how they can be resolved. To the fourth item, so this will be our main agenda for today. I'll discuss, or I'll take you through the POS flow. I will cover 2 use cases, which we will see as I proceed with the webinar. And then finally, we'll have a Q&A session. So this is where I'll be answering some of the questions that you will post in the chat section of this webinar. So feel free to already start posting, and my colleagues and I will be addressing them as the session goes. So to onboarding, what has changed since our last webinar? What has changed since 6 months ago when we did the last webinar? So before, what was the process? I would like to start by emphasizing on the process. So what was there before? So before, what was required is that if you are new to eTIMS, you needed to go online, register, get your eTIMS portal account, after which you needed to do a service request. Once the service request was approved by KRA, you needed to now start using Odoo. That has changed. It's not the case anymore. They introduced an additional step, which we call the integration token. And how it works now is that once you have that portal, you need to send an email to us. Us as Odoo, a certified third-party integrator. To send that email, you need to use or to send it to etims@mail.odoo.com. In that email, you should also share with us your eTIMS credentials. That is your KRA PIN and your password, in addition to your Odoo database. So we will see your email, and then we will create the token for you, share it via email, after which you are now supposed to use this token to proceed now with your service request. The service request is done in the eTIMS portal. KRA will approve it within a turnaround time of about 24 to 48 hours, after which you can now be able to do the initialization in your Odoo database. So I will quickly show you how this looks like, and then we will be able to, so I'll just take you to the demo. I'll take you to the documents application. So here we are. So so basically, this is a screenshot from the eTIMS portal. We have a field called integration token. So whatever integration token will be shared via the etims@mail.odoo.com email. So you are supposed to fill that token here, and that is after selecting the OSCU as your eTIMS type solution. So we covered this in detail in the other webinar. So this is basically the onboarding process, and by onboarding I mean a client who has never used eTIMS before and is onboarding or registering with eTIMS for the first time. So this is how you do it, and then once you send it, KRA will receive your request. They take about 24 to 48 hours to approve, after which the phone number that is registered in the portal will get an SMS saying that the request has been approved, and therefore you can go to your Odoo database and click on initialize. So again, I would like to remind you on what I mean by initialize. So I'll go to settings and then to accounting. So if I scroll down, I find an eTIMS integration section. So normally for this database, for example, the initialization has already been done. But in your case, if it's your first time using the Odoo eTIMS integration, so this is where you will come and click on the initialize button. So that's the first change that has happened regarding onboarding since our last webinar. So I'll move on to maybe just to emphasize that it's important that you also share your credentials. The whole point is so that internally, we have a team internally that receives these requests. And with your eTIMS portal, we are able to assess where you are in terms of this onboarding process. I'll now move on to the second item, which is the change of solution. So what do I mean by change of solution? This applies to a taxpayer who is already using another solution of eTIMS. We have different eTIMS solutions, including eCitizen. We also have eTIMS client and many other solutions. So for this client who wants to move from one of those solutions to Odoo, what steps should they follow? So basically what has changed in regards to this step, before what used to happen is that you used to send an email to KRA informing them of your intention to switch. But now that has changed, you need to visit your local KRA station. The reason for this is they also need to do some, I would say, verification steps before they approve your switch of solution. So as you visit the local KRA station, they also recommend that you should go with a letter that is addressed to the DTD commissioner. DTD stands for Domestic Tax Department. So you should write a letter addressed to the DTD commissioner with details of your legacy solution as well as the details of Odoo. So basically it's the name Odoo and then the KRA pin, which is available in our documentation. And then once you do this, KRA again has the turnaround time of about 24 to 48 hours. They will approve your request. When they approve, you'll get this notification by SMS, again, to the number that is connected to the eTIMS portal. And then once the approval is done for the change of solution, the taxpayer can now go to their eTIMS portal, do the service request, after which again KRA needs to approve, and then from there you can proceed with the initialization. So again, it's worth pointing out that this applies to clients who are using a different solution of eTIMS and would now like to use the Odoo eTIMS integration. So to the third point, or to the third item on our agenda, so we have some of the common errors that existing clients have been facing. Again, this is based on experience since we launched the Odoo eTIMS integration about 6 months ago. The good news is that these errors are now very rare. The KRA, or the infrastructure that facilitates this integration, I would say has really improved. But then again, just in case this error appears, this is how you're going to resolve it. So to the first one, the invoice number already exists. So this is common for clients who are switching from another eTIMS solution to Odoo. And the reason it happens is because there are existing invoice numbers that are or reflect in your portal due to the fact that you are fiscalizing using another solution. So how do you resolve this? I will take you to the database and I'll do a step-by-step demonstration of how it should be done. So basically, switch to my database and then just go to documents and show you the error. So here it is that the invoice number already exists. So this happens especially when you are creating your first invoice. Once your request has been approved to start using Odoo, once you initialize, and then the moment you try to create the first invoice, that is for a taxpayer again who was using another solution of eTIMS. So how do you resolve this error? What you do is by going to your eTIMS portal. When you go to your eTIMS portal, you are able to see a list of the invoice numbers that have already been sent to your portal. So you'll see that list, and let's say, for example, the last invoice number was number 30. So once you know that the last invoice number was number 30, for example, you need to go to your Odoo database, activate debug mode. So I can quickly demonstrate how that is done. So you go to settings, and then you scroll to the bottom and then click on activate developer mode. Once you activate that, you can just come back to the homepage and type sequencing. So you just type sequences. Also, you'll find this. So I'll just click on sequences. And then once I do that, all I need to do is to type eTIMS. So I'll do that, and then I'll see a lot of information here relating what I'm supposed to do. So I'll click on this, and I'll see that my next number, for example, should be 27. So if it's your first time using Odoo, then your next number will be 1. But then again, remember that there are other invoices that you had already sent to the eTIMS portal using the other solution. So in this case, our last number in the portal is number 30. So I will need to come here and change my next number to number 31. So that way the system won't be able to recognize that invoice number 1, because it's able to read again what is already in the portal. So this is quite common, and this is how you resolve it. So just to summarize, go to settings, activate debug mode, and then just type sequences. You can just do this invoice or eTIMS, and then click whichever is on top here, and then change the next number to be +1, what you found in your portal. So again, moving away from that error, it can also occur maybe when there is an internet downtime. Maybe you did send an invoice to KRA or to the portal, but it is yet to reflect. Either the portal or KRA is yet to send those details back to us. So again, if that happens, you follow the same process, go to sequencing and move on to the next number. Once you do that, I think I can now show you the other error that is also quite common, which is that the device is already installed. So when does this error occur? So this mostly occurs when you are trying to initialize before you followed all the processes that are required. Again, this is common for a client who is switching from another solution to Odoo, and anytime they try to initialize, either before the change of solution request has been approved or before the service request has been approved, then they will get this error, because Odoo or eTIMS is able to recognize that that particular KRA PIN is still registered to another eTIMS solution. So if this again happens, or if it occurs, then just be sure that there are some steps that you've skipped, and contact the relevant party. For example, if it's KRA relating to the change of solution, then reach out to them and just make sure that that has already been approved. So allow me to switch to the database and show you how that looks like. So it is here. So the validation error. So it could be this or the third error that I'll also take you through. So the registration failed. So anytime this happens, just know, or anytime you find this error that your device is already installed, it's because the system still recognizes that your KRA PIN is connected to a separate eTIMS or to another eTIMS solution. Again, to the third error that is quite common, it's the validation error. I think I've just shown you that as well. Again, anytime this occurs, it means that you're trying to initialize before you followed all the due steps that are required. Either your service request is yet to be approved, again, or your change of solution is yet to be approved. So where or at what point do these errors occur? So again, going back to our database, if I click on settings, I'm able to go to accounting. So I'll do accounting. And then if I scroll down to the eTIMS integration section, so normally there's usually a button here. So if you click on that before your different steps have been approved, then you won't be, basically the system is telling you that you are not in a position to yet start using the Odoo eTIMS integration. So those are some of the common errors. They are rare nowadays, but just in case you encounter them, that's the best way to resolve them. So going back to our agenda, I'll take you to the next point, which is our main agenda actually for today's webinar. So in the previous webinar, we did cover different flows and how they are connected to eTIMS. We covered manufacturing, we covered purchases, and also sales using the sales module. But now, since I think about a month ago, it is now possible to also fiscalize using the Odoo POS, and that's what I'll be focusing on today. I'll take you through two use cases. So one will relate to a hardware, and then the other one will be a restaurant. The reason why I chose a restaurant is because of the uniqueness of its product, in the sense that most of the end products being sold, in this case, or most of the times, food stuff, they are as a result of ingredients. So meaning, again, how we connect that to Odoo is that we do manufacturing, either manufacture a product or do what we call use of a kit. So I'll demonstrate that just to give you an idea of how kitting or having ingredients that bring about your final product will be impacted by eTIMS. We'll also talk about a new feature in Odoo 18. So this is where you have the option to create a product while you are still in session. So meaning you don't have to go to the back end to create a product. So again, when you create a product and you're already using the eTIMS integration, how does that affect your operations? So relating to the hardware, so this will mostly to do with storable products. So these are the products whose quantities you want to track in your stock. And we'll also talk about consumables. There are certain items, for example, screws, that maybe the owners of a business are not so much interested in tracking the quantity. So again, how are consumables impacting the eTIMS flow? We'll also talk about, or I'll take you through how a fiscalized receipt looks like, and also a fiscalized invoice. In addition to that, we'll see how these fiscalization details are reflecting on the backend, not just on the receipt, but also on the backend, either in accounting or even in the POS orders on the backend. And then we'll also handle a case of refunds, where you've made a sale, but then a client decides to return the product, and then for you to give them back the money. So again, how do you go about that? So without further ado, I'll take you to the database. Here it is. So for this to work, again, you need to have the eTIMS modules. So I think that's the first step that you need to. So I'll go to the applications, so not appointments, but to apps. So here you just need to type Kenya and then remove the apps filter. So in my case, I'm able to see the POS module. And it's worth mentioning that at this point, this module is available in Odoo 18 and also Odoo version 17.0. So very soon it will also be available in Odoo version 17.2 and also 17.4. For now, it's 18.0 onwards, 18.0.1, and also version 17.0. In case you do not find this module, you need to click on Update Apps List. So for whatever reason, if it's not there, you just need to click on Update Apps List, and then it will appear. Once it appears, you just need to click Install. So for example, if I wanted this, I just click Install, and this, for example, was the module for our previous device, the eTIMS device or Tremor. So once you've gotten that out of the way, the next step is that you can now go to the inventory module. Again, we want to make sure that we have products. Again, we're in the business of buying and selling, so we need to have the product. In this case, I think, considering that you're just focusing on POS, it will be best if I approach it from the POS application. So I'll go to the POS and then to product, and then again click on product. So here I'm able to see some of the products that will be available in my different POS shops. And when I talk about shops, this is what I mean. So I have two shops. This one handles my hardware business, and then the other one handles my restaurant business. Both of them, again, as you know, in Odoo, you can be able to restrict categories. So that, for example, I do not find nails in my restaurant, or neither do I find food in my hardware. So once that is well set up, you just ensure that, again, you have the product. So I'll just open one of these. So this is one of my products, French fries. They cannot be purchased, again, because I buy potatoes and cooking oil, but then I do sell French fries. So again, here you're able to see that concept of converting ingredients to the final product. So same case applies to the burger, for example. So the burger is the final product, but then it has a bill of material, which is what we will talk about. But then before we go into that, I'll focus on the hardware product. So I have a paint here. So it's a 1 liter white paint. This can be sold, it can be bought, and it's also available in the POS. Again, I'm using Odoo version 18. So remember that before we had the storable products, consumables, and services. So now this is what we have. In case you need to track a product, you just need to click goods and then track the inventory. So you need to check this box, track inventory. If it's a consumable, that is, if it's a product whose stock you do not want to track, then you leave this box unchecked, as I have done with the bolts and the nuts. Okay, so this will be a consumable. It's what we used to call a consumable in the previous versions. So once you do that, again, that's the first step. Have the name, define your product type. Again, set the sales price and the cost price, and go to the accounting tab and ensure all these fields have been filled. So I'll just create one product here to show you how easy it is to do that. So I can do nails, maybe 2 inches. Okay, so this product can be sold, it can be bought, and it's also available in my POS. Okay, I want to track the number of nails that I have, so I'll say that I should track the inventory of this particular product. Before I do anything else, this is the error or the banner that you'll always get in case you have the eTIMS module but have products that are yet to be registered. So every product that you have in your database, you need to have it registered, and that's what we'll be talking about. So to make sure that your product is registered, again, you can just follow this warning over here. So first of all, I need to define the cost. So I can say that my cost here, for example, is 0.7. I'll also go to the product type. I've already defined the product type. The origin country, again, so there is a different product type that this warning is talking about. So that's here. So what product type is it? Is it a finished product? So in this case, I'm dealing with a finished product. The packaging unit, I'll just choose anything for now. The packaging, I'll just say it's 1, and then the country of origin is Kenya. I'll go to my UNSPSC category. So here you just need to know which category your product belongs to. Again, this information is available online. So just choose the category that is relevant to whatever it is that you are registering. In this case, I'm registering a nail, so I'll select this category. And once I do that, I just need to click on Save Item. Okay. So when I do that, notice the error disappears, but then another message appears here telling me that my product has been successfully registered. Okay. So it is not possible to fiscalize your invoices if those invoices have products that are to be fiscalized. So this is just by the way, we did cover it extensively in the other webinar. But then again, once I do this for the POS, I can also define a category. I'll just add it to the bolts and nuts category, and then save that. Okay, so once I do that, notice that this product has no quantity. Okay, so I'm selling this product, but it has no quantity. Just to confirm to you that we've just created it now anyway, so 0 quantities on hand. So let me go to the dashboard and try and sell the products that are in my hardware shop. So I'll open register. And as I do that, the opening balance, this is what I have. Again, the POS is able to show you your opening balance. So based on what you closed with in your last session, I'll open my register. This is what I have. I have 2 categories, the paint category and also the bolts category. Okay, so I want to sell the paint, and I also want to sell the bolts. Okay, so maybe for the paints, I'll do 2 cans of 1 liter and maybe 2 kgs of the bolts. Okay, so once I do that, I also have the option to add the customer, which I can always do. I'll just click this for now, and then I'll proceed to payment. So I'll click on payment. I'll select my payment method. So these are the different payment methods that I have. So let's say my client pays via till, so I'll use the M-Pesa till. So click on M-Pesa till, and then I will validate that payment. Again, I want to see, or I want to take you through. So again, this is the fiscalized invoice or the fiscalized receipt. It has all the information relating to eTIMS. It has the QR code, for example, that you can scan to get more details about this order. In addition to the serial number, not just the serial number, but we also have basically the signature, the internal date, the receipt number, and more information that give you more details about eTIMS or about the KRA portal. So once you do that, again, this is now what is new or what is now possible with eTIMS. It's now connected to POS, meaning that you can be able to create receipts that are fiscalized. Again, before I even proceed with any other order, I will just close this session for us to see what or how this appears on the back end. So let me just confirm my cash count, close my register, and I'll go to that particular order. So I'll go to back end, and as it loads, so my orders, and then I'll go to the specific order. So this is what we've just sold today at 256. This was my customer, this is the receipt number, and then this is my shop. This was the total amount. We also have these two options here. So the one that we're interested in for now is the eTIMS status. So from this view, again, you'll be able to know whether your orders from the POS have been sent to eTIMS or not. So I'll click on this, and what you notice is that we now have an additional tab. So anytime you install that module, even before you initialize, this eTIMS details tab automatically appears. So if I click on it, I'm able again to see all the details relating or the fiscalized information relating to this particular order. And again, this information is what is appearing in my receipts. Okay, so for this to happen, again, you need to have your products registered, and if they are storable products, then those products need to have quantities. The quantities need to be available. Okay, so I will open another session. And so this time we will sell a product that is, or whose quantity is 0. The product is not available. Again, it does not make sense for POS, because again, for POS, the assumption is that you're always selling what is available. So what this means is that you are selling something whose quantity you are yet to update in stock, right? Because again, POS, it's you are selling something that is tangible, or it's there and then. It's a transaction that is happening here, there and then. So meaning the product is there, just that you've not updated it in your stock. So in this case, I will use the nails that we created. We didn't update quantities. So what happens when I try to sell this product? Again, I'll select the customer, maybe customer A in this case. I will proceed to payments. I'll choose bank as the payment option, and then I will validate. Okay, so what you see, first of all, is that the system gives you an error. It's more of a warning telling you that one of those products in the order that you just validated is has a product that is not available. Okay, so in this case, what is the implication? That receipt will not be fiscalized. Okay, so the point here is that for storable product, or for products whose, and again, that's why the product type is very important, because it will determine whether your receipt is fiscalized or not. In this case, it wasn't, because the product is not available. But then I'll just quickly update the quantities for that product. So I'll close session. I'll say this is my balance. I'll click close register. And when I do that, I will go to the profile of that product and update its quantities. So product, and then where is it? So here it is. Okay. So if I update the quantities manually here, again, you can see that the forecasted is -1, because we sold a nail that was not updated in our stock. So I will manually update the quantities, and let's say, for example, I have 100 of these. So I'll click apply, and again, the impact of this is when I go to sell, the expectation is that my receipt will be fiscalized, because this product is now available in stock. So open, and then nails, and then I even don't have to choose the customer. I can just proceed to payment, M-Pesa till, and then validate. And what we expect is that our receipt has been fiscalized. Okay, so that's a very key point to note. If you want your receipts to be fiscalized, ensure that all the products you're selling are available. So having done that, so let's also cover a scenario whereby we are selling, or we are doing a refund. So we made a sale, but then our customer wants to maybe return one of the items for whatever reason. Maybe it was faulty, maybe they didn't need that extra product. So to do that, let me start by making the sale. Again, 2 tins of white paint, 1 liter. Proceed to payment, bank, validate. Okay. Again, this will be fiscalized, as you can see. But then for whatever reason, the customer comes back and says that they want to refund the 1 liter can. Okay? So to do that, you will go to your orders. So I'll go to the orders. I'll look for the ones that have already been paid because I had already made that sale. So this is the latest one that we've just done. So click on it, and then I have the option to select the quantities that I am receiving from my client. Okay. So in this case, if it's 1, I'll click on 1. I just sold 2, so I'll refund 1. So I'll click 1. You can see the information here to refund 1, and then just click on refund. Again, this is the scenario whereby the customer is returning both the can and wants you to give them back the money. So you will now proceed to payment, right? You're now refunding them. So pay, and then you're returning the 2 shillings. How did you return the money? Maybe you give them cash, okay, from your cash drawer. You now go ahead and validate. Again, this is fiscalized, and it has so many implications. It will appear in your portal. It will reduce your sales. It will increase your stock because that item has been refunded. Yeah, so all this is happening behind the scenes, and I think it's at this point that I can also give you a snippet of the inventory moves that are happening as a result of these orders and how they are being tracked. So I'll just close the register again for all the sessions. So 26.38 is my balance. So I'll close the register, and then I'll go to the back session or to the back end. So I can go to sessions and then to the last session. So again, the system is able to give you a summary of all that you did in a particular session. We are interested in the pickings, so you can just click on this. You are able to see, for example, I'll start with this one here. So what happened here is, so these are the nails that I sold. Anyway, let me see what else I sold. I sold the 2 cans of the 1 liter paint. So this is the sale that I made. And I'm also able to see the return. Okay, so this is the 1 can that was returned. I'm also able to see that. Okay, and what you notice also for these receipts and deliveries is that there is this message that appears here. So again, showing you the connection between eTIMS and quantities. It's very keen on that. So just make sure that they are up to date. Otherwise, your orders will not be fiscalized. Okay, so we've handled that scenario where you make a sale both for a product that is available in stock and for a product that is not available in stock. We've also done that scenario where it's a refund. So you are receiving both the product and refunding the money. So having covered that, still on the hardware, let's also cover one more feature. This relates to version 18, whereby it is possible to create a product while in session. Okay, so to do that, I just need to click here and then create product. Okay, I'll give it any name. Okay, so I'll call it maybe even eTIMS. Okay, I can define the sales price. I can define all these. Okay, so for now, I'll just leave them as they are. So if I try selling this product, so here it is. It does not belong to any category identified. But then if I try adding it into my order, again, I get the warning message, because this product, before I sell it, I need to do what? I need to register. I need to fill in all this information. So I click on view product and add all this information. Okay. Again, considering that from this view, you are not able to define the quantities available, then it means that this sales order or this POS order will not be fiscalized. Okay. Why? Because from this point, I can be able to define all this, right? I can be able to define all this. I can be able to say that the product is from Kenya, the product is a finished product, and this is the category, for example. Okay, but by doing that, the warning message will disappear, but still I have not updated quantities. Okay, so what that means is that I will not be able to fiscalize. So yeah, that's something worth noting, meaning that if it's a storable product, you have to create it on the back end before you come and do an order. So let's just wait a bit as it loads. So let's see, let's give it a few minutes. So this is basically the first use case relating to hardware. We'll also tackle the second use case relating to the restaurant. But then again, notice for restaurants, it's a bit unique in the sense that we have the components or the ingredients that bring about the end product. So let me just follow up on this to make sure that all is well. So just a minute. Let's check. So those are the two scenarios. So relating to the restaurant, you need to set up a kit. So meaning that you need to have the manufacturing application. For manufacturing, we have two types of bill of materials. We call them bill of materials. We have two types. The first type is the products that are manufactured. So they go through a manufacturing process. And then the second product, we have the kits. So let me again just follow up on this to show that it's working. Yeah? Sorry about this. So just to do it again. Okay. So I'll go back to my POS, or I'll have to close this session. So let me go to my sessions. See whether we'll be able to log in again. If not, we'll just log out and okay, all right. So I'll just go to the PO or the restaurant use case for now, and then we'll come back to that. So going back to my POS, I'll open my restaurant for now. So let's handle the restaurant use case. So I will open the session. Let's hope this one goes through. Yes, it does. Okay, so a restaurant. So what's the setup? You have your restaurant, and then we have the floor plan basically. Okay, so this is the floor plan. This is how your restaurant has been set up. How many tables do you have? What's the capacity of these tables? Okay, so this is what you see from this view. So in my case, I'll just select table 1, and these are the products that I have. Okay, I'll click on beef burger, for example, and also the Sprite can. I'll make the order. So the order goes to the kitchen, and my chefs will prepare that order. Once it's ready, the customer will take it, and then eventually they'll pay. So I'll go on to payments, and then M-Pesa till and validate. Okay. So again, the expectation here is that my receipt will be fiscalized because these products are available. Maybe not these products, but their components. Because, for example, I sold the beef burger. So let's see the composition of the beef burger. So I'll go ahead and close this register. I'll say the balance is 4.5. So close register. Let's hope it goes through. Yeah, it does. Okay, so what do we see on the back end? Again, just to confirm, if I go to my orders, I'll see the details here, right? So the status is that that has already been sent. And all this, by the way, is reflecting in your eTIMS portal. So when we do that, let's just see how these products have been set up. So here's the big burger. It has the bill of materials. So I'll click on the bill of materials. And I have it as a kit for various reasons. But then these are the components, okay? So in this context, these components have to be available for that order to be fiscalized. So the beef burger has to be there, or the beef has to be there, the bread has to be there, and also the cheese has to be there. Okay, why? Because these are storable products. So if I just click on this, they are storable products. So they need to first of all, again, also be registered with eTIMS. Okay, so the quantities, you can see they are available, and therefore that's why you are able to fiscalize. So in this case, for example, we are saying that to sell one beef burger, these are the components that we need. So without any of these, of course, you can make a sale because it means that the products are there, but maybe you have just not updated your stock. But note that you will not be able to fiscalize. But then no worries, there is also a workaround of how you can fiscalize these orders on the back end once you update your stock, which is also what we are going to talk about. Okay, so to showcase that, I'll just again go back to bill of materials and manually change the quantities of one of these components. So right now we have 49, we need 1 kg, I think it was, we need 0.2 kgs to sell one. So let me manually edit these quantities to be 0 so that this product is not available. So I click apply, and then I'll go back to my dashboard, open my restaurant session, open, and then I'll use shop number 4. I'll sell this product. I'll make the order, it goes to the kitchen, the payment is done. Select the payment method, maybe they swiped, and then I validate. Okay, so see the error appears again. So telling us that one of the items is out of stock. Okay, so that's a point to note relating to POS especially, because yeah. So how do we handle that? How we handle that is first of all, I'll close my session, because anyway the sales is done, meaning you cannot again come back to it and fiscalize. It's done and we've moved away from that. Then how do we fiscalize it later once we update our quantities? Let's see. So I'll go to products, and then I'll go to the one that I'll go to my beef burger. I'll go to my bill of materials, and then so this is what I now need to add to my stock. So let's say I was waiting for my supplier, or my supplier had already delivered, they're just in my waiting area. I had not updated them in my stock. Okay. So let me manually update them in this case. So it's now 10. So meaning that I can now go back to my order on the back end. So point of sale, and then I check my orders. So you can see again, even the status tells you that it's not yet sent. So I click on this. Okay, and then from here, if I check the eTIMS details, I can see that they are not yet populated because we didn't fiscalize. Okay, but then the product is available, remember, because you've updated it. So all I need to do is to click send to eTIMS, okay, which is what I'll do now. It still says that one of my products is out of stock. So let me confirm which product is that. Again, beef burger, let me check my bill of materials. And yeah. Okay, okay. Okay, all right. Sorry for that short interruption. So just need to confirm where we left. So the last use case that I covered was about the beef burger. So we made a sale for a beef burger that was not, or whose components were not available in stock. So in this case, the beef was not available in our stock. So I'll go back to my bill of materials and then just ensure that I now have the quantities available. So forecasted is this, okay? So I have my beef ready. I can even update the quantities to 20 kgs, okay? So this is what I have. The beef is there. And let me also confirm that I have bread. I have 47 units of that. Let me also confirm that my cheese is available. Again, for this, I have about 9,000. This is about 9.85 kgs. So this being available, I just need to go back to my order. So this is my order. So let me just confirm that it's the right one. So here it is. I need to send to. So let me just confirm that the session is closed. I'll just open another one. So here it is. There is my product. I make a sale again. I make the order and then proceed to payment. The payment method is bank, and then I validate that. Yeah, so again, you can see that now this has been fiscalized. Why? Because my product is now available. So this product is now available in my stock. Okay. So basically, the point here is that anytime you want to make a sale, make sure that your products are available for you to be able to fiscalize. Okay. I'll close my register or my session, so they call it the register. So 4.5 is the balance that I have right now. So let me close that. Okay. So again, to even generate invoices, notice that we've just been generating receipts, but to also generate invoices. It's also, again, it's possible to do that. How you do that is from the order. So I'll just open the session again. Okay, so I'll go to some of the orders that are already there. So I'll go to the paid ones. So this is one of those. Again, I can click on invoice here. So if I click on invoice, notice again, an invoice needs to have a customer. Sometimes for POS orders, you're able to proceed with the orders without entering the name of the customer. But then for the invoice, you need the name of the customer. So that's what we will add here. I'll just choose customer B, okay? And then again, click on that. So the expectation is that it has already been generated, and that's why the message here changed to reprint invoice, okay? So if it's already downloaded, but if I again close register and go to my back end, we'll be able to all right, so once we have done that, so I was at the point where I was now demonstrating how you can be able to generate a fiscalized invoice from the POS orders. So let me just close my register. So the cash count here is about 4.5. Close register. And then when I do that, so I'll go to the back end. And I'll just go to accounting. And then to my invoices. And I'm able to see the invoice. So this is today. This is what we've just done. And yeah, so the point here is that you're able to generate both fiscalized receipts and invoices, and that's how you go about that process of fiscalizing. So I think that actually marks the end of my demonstration. We've been able to cover the two scenarios, And that's how you are supposed to basically go about it. So I'll just check if there are any questions in the chat section, and then you can proceed from there. So I'll go to my slides. All right, so we are back again. Apologies for that interruption. So basically, with this webinar, we've been able to see how you can handle the different errors, how you're able to handle these errors in Odoo, the common errors. They are rare, but then in case they happen, that's how you go about it. We've seen how you go about the onboarding process. If it's your first time registering on eTIMS, or if you are an existing client, how do you change from one solution to eTIMS? So we've covered that process. And finally, we've also been able to cover the two use cases for the POS flow. One for a shop, a hardware, and then another one for a restaurant. How are you able to handle products that are made out of ingredients? So that is the kit scenario. And we've also handled both storable and consumables. Also, that concept of creating a new product while you are still in session, how is it impacted by the POS? So basically that's it, and we will leave it there for today. Thank you for joining us, and we will address, in case of any questions, feel free to reach out to your account manager, or you can also send us an email to etims@mail.odoo.com. Thank you.